Hey guys, Andy from Andy Goblin Fishing. Hey, today's video is I'm going to talk a little bit about jig trailers. I'm going to cover some different type of jigs with different type of trailers that I use. The brand is not really specific, just whatever brand you like. These are the kinds of styles that I like to fish. The first one is nothing more than a big flipping jig. What I like to fish on it is about 3 different kind of trailers. You can see I like a big chunk. This here happens to be a Catch 'em Lures big chunk. Zoom makes one also. Then you have the Zoom Super Chunk. There's another one that I like to flip and pitch with it. And if I want a little bit more action, a lot of times I'll go to something like this happens to be a Strike King Rage Chunk. So I use it too. That's when I want a little more action. Most of the time in the colder water though, I'm going to throw the big chunks. If I want to downsize it a little bit, I'll thread it up on and get the the super chunk on it. So that's what I'm looking at whenever I'm looking at a full-size big flipping jig. The other jigs that I like to fish is I fish a finesse style jig. I fish one here in a heavy hook, and I also fish one in a lighter wire hook. These here happen to be Jewel Bait Company jigs, which I like real well. Here, like I say, it's one of the thinner wire ones. The 2 trailers that I use on it, I use the Super Chunk Junior, which I threaded up on and flip it quite a bit if I'm flipping on heavier cover. If I'm flipping around sparse type cover and rocks and things like that, for smaller fish, a lot of times I like to use the this is the little it's Jewel's finesse jig, and on it a lot of times I'll just use a regular finesse style crawl. This one happens to be a Jewel Bait Company one, but Zoom makes one too, the little baby crawl that they make. Little critter crawl does real well on that. So that's what I'm looking at whenever I'm fishing in the finesse style jigs. Now, when I go to a football head jig, I want something that's got a little bit of action to it. So you can see here is this is a 5/8 ounce Jewel football jig. As you can see, I have this is a Zoom Z-Crawl on it, and it seems to work real well. It gives a little bit of action to it. Also real popular on those type jigs, we use just a twin tail grub trailer. Or you can go to a kicking type crawl, which this here happens to be this is a missile baked follow crawl. And also, if I want a little bit more action to it, I will just go to the Rage Chunk. So that's what I'm using on that. Now, a lot of people don't want action, especially if the water gets real cold. They don't want very much action on that. A lot of guys will put just like a beaver style bait on that, but it doesn't have a whole lot of action. I kind of tend to like a little bit more action on my jig, so I use something that's got a little bit of kick to it. The other thing that we're going to go to is a swim jig, and they make several different types of swim jigs. This here happens to be a Jewel Bait Company swim jig. As you can see, it has the a kicking type stuff on it, like a Z-Crawl. This is one of the, I think it's called a Helicrawl, the Z-Man. I like it real well. I like it to kick. So that's something I like to do, especially if I'm doing what they call the Alabama shake, which is swimming through the grass and stuff on the rivers, and like they do in Alabama, especially in the willow weeds. It works really, really well. The other trailer that I like to use on that is I'll just use a super chunk and thread it up on. So that's what you're looking at. That now, if I'm up north and I'm throwing in a lot of grass, which is the vegetation out in the water, I'll go to this happens to be a Bavarni Baits swim jig. As you can see, just a big grub. Just keep it up and swim it. It kind of works like that. But those are about the type of trailers that I use whenever I'm using a swim jig. So till next time, guys, hope these little tips help you out. Thank you guys very much for watching.